Hi, everyone. It's Reverend Dr. Katie. Right as I began, my little Post-it fell. All right, it is fixed now. Hey, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm recording this on New Year's Eve, 2019. No matter when you're watching this, don't worry. The energy will come through because we're going to be talking a little bit today about reflections of the past year, of the past decade, and reflections on what's coming up in your life. So for those of you who are really looking forward to a future, whether it's next year, tomorrow, next week, whatever, where you're really taking your spiritual life into your own hands, where you're ready to co-create your own future, you're ready to leave behind all the stuff that's not serving you, and anger and resentment and all the things that are born in us from all of that, then this video is for you. It's a great opportunity to reflect and to plan a little bit for the future. So this is especially for those of you who are starting to take a stock of your spiritual life. You are thinking about your spiritual journey, you're assessing what's been working, what isn't working, where is it that you want to draw closer with God, what are areas of your life that you want to build up, that you want to expand. In this group, all of you who are connected with me, we talk about metaphysics and we talk about expanding your spiritual life through the use of the metaphysical world. I know so many of you come to me and you're kind of worried about opening doors to things that you don't really want in your life. Can you explore chakras? Can you explore even things like past lives? Can you do all of that and still be faithful to your Christian journey? So if that's where you are and you are wondering all of that, then there's no time like the present to move forward, to really start to work in tune with the law of attraction, so that you're bringing into your life what you want instead of thinking about what you don't want, because then that's what you're going to bring into your life. So I would love to hear what your particular and personal thoughts are, what your goals are, where it is that you're headed in your life right now. So use the comments so I can see and respond to those. I am more than happy to do that while you've got me, while we're here live. And I've been taking a little bit of time off, so thank you all for being generous with the break. I really needed the rest and renewal, and I got it. So thank you, everyone. So the very first thing I'm going to ask everyone to do is to simply take a breath. Take that deep breath. We will call in spirit together. The Holy Spirit is always with us. And with that, I invite you to take an honest stock of where you are right now in your spiritual life, and just take 30 seconds and reflect what has really been working for you. What are you proud of on your journey? And where do you feel a little bit stuck? And let's hold both of those in balance together. So I'm going to give everyone right at 30 seconds, and then we'll continue on. Okay, those of you who are just joining us, we were pausing and we were reflecting on what hasn't been working and where we want to, what is working in our spiritual lives. And if any of you had any insights as a result of that really quick mini 30-second reflection, do post those, because I would love to see them. And now we're going to enter into a time where we kind of roll back the past couple of days, weeks, years, and we think about our spiritual journey over the past little bit of time. And we're entering into a new decade, so this especially works well for taking stock of the decade. If you don't want to roll back that far, that's no big deal. You can go back as far as you want. But also thinking about, are you in the same place that you were a decade ago, in parts of your life that you don't want to be in? Or have you moved ahead and you're really happy with where you are now? And sometimes the journey doesn't look like this. It's not a straight up. It kind of looks like this with lots of curly cues and curves along the way, because that's part of life. So what we want as Christians and as metaphysical Christians is to handle those curves with as much metaphysical grace as we possibly can. And I want to make sure that you are equipped with the tools you need to move forward in ways that are very sustainable, that are very God-driven, that always bring us closer to Christ, so that in every action, every bump in the road, we become more and more Christ-like. So that's what's my desire and my wish for you. So hey everyone joining in. Really, really happy to see you all. So go ahead and get comfortable. If you're driving, please don't do this while you're driving. Make sure that you've got some spaciousness. If you want to grab a pen and a paper, you can. I think you'll be able to remember everything you need to remember, and you can write it down later. So this is a modified prayer of examine. And the prayer of examine is where we finish the day and we roll back through the day to see where was God present and where were we apart from God. Not that we are ever apart from God, but where were we conscious of God's presence during the day, and where could we maybe do better tomorrow. So that's what we're going to do. This is just a way of doing a simple reflection on our lives. I think it's perfect for the new year. And then at the end of this prayer, I'll encourage you to think about, what do you want in the next year, 10 years, day, week of your life and your spiritual journey. All right, everyone. So let's go ahead and get comfortable. I will guide you through this. We won't take too long, maybe 5-6 minutes, something like that. And then I'll wrap us up with a few thoughts. And I also have a card drawing. So we're going to do one card drawing for the community for the upcoming year and just see how that resonates with everyone. All right, so we've already set the space. If you're comfortable and in a safe place, I invite you to close your eyes. If that's not, then you can simply do this with your eyes open and be attentive to your inward experience. So let's take 3 breaths together. Second breath. And third breath together if we can. And in your mind's eye, I invite you to think about what you were doing an hour ago, 2 hours ago, at lunch, at breakfast. Wherever you are in your day, simply roll back the clock to the beginning of your day and be conscientious and think about your journey. And just feel, where were you conscious of God's presence? Where were you conscious of your vibration? Are there times in the day that occurred where you weren't as conscious and you would have liked to have been? Did you have any moments of knee-jerk reaction that you'd like to correct for the future? Did you have any moments of awareness that were beautiful and you want to repeat, become more in tune with those? And again, this is simply a reflection tool, not a means of self-judgment. Now we're going to do the same process, but go further back in time, up to a week. So you don't have to remember the specific details, just let filter into your mind whatever feelings and images and memories are most present to you. I find it most helpful to consider going backwards through time as if I'm rolling back a rug. So think about yesterday. What comes up for you? Where was God present? Where are areas where you'd like to be more conscious? Were there any moments where you experienced fear of your own gifts or synchronicities that you appreciated? And keep rolling back through your week, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. As you get back through 7 days, just let whatever comes forward come forward. I encourage you, the days get fuzzier as we move further back through time, to focus on what have you been struggling with in your spiritual journey for the past week, and what has been full of grace and full of light for you. Now we're going to go back 6 months. You're not going to remember every detail of the past 6 months because you're living your life. So what we're going to do is to focus on what were we struggling with 6 months ago? Where were areas where we needed maybe more attentiveness in our spiritual life? Where are areas that we've grown in our spiritual life, where we found some solid ground on our journey, where we've let go of things that haven't served us? So I invite you, I'll count you backwards, and you may find yourself moving forwards and backwards in time, and that's just fine. We'll notice patterns as they emerge. So I invite everyone to take stock of what were you doing a month ago, where you were very conscious of God's presence in your life? And where in that month did you feel some need for growth, for letting go, for examining what's going on? What about 2 and 3 months ago, a quarter of a year ago? Are you noticing any struggles that seem to be the same? You may notice these as they emerge in your physical health or in your prayer life. And you might be surprised to find a struggle that you had then that you don't anymore. What about 4, 5, 6 months ago? A half a year ago? Where were you on your spiritual journey? And where are you now? Now we'll go back a full year. So if you think about yourself 1 year ago today, hold the image of who you were then in your mind, and just take a moment and consider, what is the same now? What is different? Is there anything you're experiencing where you're feeling God's grace in your life more now? Or is there any place that's stagnant that needs fresh air blown into it? I'll give you about 20 seconds to let things come forward to in your mind. And now we're going to roll back the clock one more time to a decade ago. So we are merging into 2020. Again, no matter when you're watching this, you can do the same reflection on the past decade in your life, no matter when the date is. I invite you to think about yourself 10 years ago. And I know for most of you, so much in your life probably has changed. You may have moved, your family changes, personal circumstances change. But we're going to focus on what our soul was experiencing 10 years ago. Where was your spiritual journey then? Take a moment and remember it. Feel it. And now that you have that in your soul space, in your mind, the same reflection you can do here. Where do you see changes, growth in your spiritual life of the past decade? God is always at work in us, always enabling us to become new creations if we desire to. Where were struggles in your spiritual life then? Are these the same now, or are they different? Have they grown and changed with you, or have they stayed the same? You might want to, even in your mind's eye, give that you of 10 years ago some kindness and maybe some silent words of affirmation for the journey that they're about to take. Now in your mind, just roll back the other direction and come back to through that decade, through the years, the months, the week, and arrive to where you are right now in this present moment. And when you're ready, open your eyes, return to your body and the room that you're in, and just take a moment and assess everything that you've experienced and felt and witnessed in this meditation in the past little bit of time. And especially you're taking stock of your spiritual life. So you're now invited to think, what's the same? What is different? Those are really the two questions. And if you find yourself having the same struggle now that you did 10 years ago, then 2020 can really be the time for you to make a conscious change in your patterns and the way that you approach your spiritual life. We all have patterns. We all get stuck in little ruts and in habits that don't no longer serve us. So if you are looking forward to do something different in 2020, that's what we're here for. So I would love to actually hear about, again, just put in the comments. You can be sure to tag me, so I'll see it later. I'm having my own New Year's Eve rituals pretty soon, but I'll be in and out for the next day or so, be able to respond to everyone. But yeah, I'd love to hear about what's in your spiritual life. Where are you still working on? You know, we're all working on something. What are you still working on? I know so many of you struggle with the feelings of kind of guilt around doing your metaphysical practices and a lot of worry about that. And you're here for a reason. So I want those worries to be gone. And I know that they can be. If you're willing to do something a little bit different, I'd also love to hear about what's really working in your spiritual life right now. Where have you seen growth in yourself? And so that's really, really amazing too. I want to be able to celebrate that. So I'm going to draw one card for us, just for the group. And the intention behind this card drawing is that it's one card that will resonate with everyone watching this video, again, whether you're watching it on New Year's Eve 2019 or whether you're watching it in 2029, doesn't matter. The energy will be there, moving backwards and forwards in time. So this card may serve us as we're looking towards our intentions and our energy in the coming year. Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, we all got Fire Guardian. Ignite your passions. I couldn't ask for a better card to start us off. So ignite your passions. What are you passionate about? What was coming up in that meditation about your spiritual life? Where do you have passion? Where do you want to put your energy? Where do you want to put your passion? This is the year to ignite it. And so this angel has this these beautiful like bodywork tattoos on him, and he's holding this ball with a triangle, which can symbolize so many different things, you know, depending on our traditions. And I just love the energy of this particular card. And so it's encouraging us to ignite our passions, to move forward, to not wait any longer on this. Some of you, I will put a link to it, may have seen a sermon that I posted that I preached a couple of days ago, where I actually talk about a dream I have. And in the dream, I have a match that's in my face, and I see the tip of it sticking out of a hole in my face. Totally weirded me out in the dream. But I pulled out the match, and it was whole and unbroken. And I realized that it's time that I light it and let my words speak with even more truth out there in the world. And so that's literally igniting my passions. That is one of my passions. And to do that in a way that really is sustainable, but also joyful, and not to put any limits on who hears my words and why. And that if they always have that ring of truth about them. So I want to know what your passions are, and are you lighting them or not? If you're not, then maybe it's time. Maybe 2020 is your year. As always, I am here. You can all reach out to me at any time. I would love to hear from you. Just private message me. You can send me an email as well, either way, so that I can further support you on your journey and help you as you are dedicated to transforming your life and entering into 2020 and this new decade with pure joy, with pure grace, with knowing that you're walking so closely with God, and that you experience that unity that we all desire so much between our souls and God's soul, and it's there waiting on you. So blessings to everyone. Happy New Year. Again, I'll be in and out. I'm still kind of finishing up the holiday break and taking care of my own spirit so that I can come back to serve you in the best way possible. All right, everyone. Happy New Year. Blessings. We'll talk to you soon.